All right, and right now, even as we wrap up the show, I know time is not on our side, but there is something very interesting that we need to know. Kenya's, legal environment. Right now, I'm joined by Esther Mlele, who is the managing partner at MMC Africa Law, our deputy managing partner. Thank you very much for joining us. We've been 6 law firms have been nominated to an award. Just clarify for us on that issue.
Okay, it's actually 7 law firms.
7.
One of which is our firm, MMC Africa Law. And for us, we've been nominated in 9 categories. So looking at Africa Legal Awards, and what it is that it looks to identify the best lawyers in their specific areas of practice. So the practice of law is broad. So, there's corporate law, there's litigation, which is what a lot of people know. There's employment law. There's lots of categories.
Yes.
So what they look to do is to identify the best lawyers in those particular areas, and best lawyers in terms of expertise, in terms of how they deal with their clients, in terms of the teams that they put together.
Yes.
And once they have identified the best, then they nominate them, and eventually they are ranked as best lawyers in the continent.
And this particular ranking, does it have an impact in terms of clientele later on? Because I believe there's a global outlook from things, so you are able to be spotted, does it?
Certainly. When somebody who's not a local client is looking to come to this market, they wouldn't know that MMC Africa Law exists. They wouldn't know someone like Edwin Murray, who's our team leader and who's been nominated for Partner of the Year, exists. But when they go to directories such as that of the Africa Legal Awards, then they will see who's good at what. And then when they come to this market, they then identify with that lawyer, and then the lawyer provides a service. So it's really the awards and eventually the ranking act as a bridge between someone who's not familiar with this market with the legal practitioners in the market.
Definitely. And oftentimes when we think about law, I remember Mr. Bean joking that in hell there is a space for the devil and lawyers. It was pretty funny, but not so funny from a lawyer's perspective. But thinking about law and economy, how does legal practice contribute to the economy?
Every project, every transaction, every activity that has a commercial basis begins with a contract that is drawn by a lawyer. So when you see a road has been built, before that road is built, there has to be a lawyer who draws the contract between maybe government and the contractor, or 2 private parties, and says, this is the road, this is the length, this is the cost, this is how long it should take to deliver the road. When you think about housing, affordable housing, for example, there's a lawyer who's put together the framework under which the housing project is going to be undertaken. When you think about even intellectual property, the rights, the innovation that comes from business owners, that has to be protected. So underlying every piece of development within an economy is some activities that has been generated by a lawyer.
Yes. Wow, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And hopefully these awards, Kenyans will love voting. Yeah. Is there a call that people normally vote or not?
No, there's not really a call to vote, because it's about peers.
Yeah.
In the industry.
Okay.
Those who've been there longer than, those who've been shortlisted. It's about the clients. They're the ones who will vet and say, they will look at the submissions that have been made by each of the persons who've been shortlisted, each of the law firms that have been shortlisted. And then based on the value proposition that they see from the submissions, they will then decide who deserves to be top and who deserves to win.
Wow, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And, our topic of discussion today is about xenophobia. And these awards are actually happening in Joburg, coincidentally. Yeah? But these, from your own personal take, these attacks, you're asking, are they economic, based, or what is happening? What is your interpretation of all this?
Well, if you look at the history of South Africa, you can say that the African was disadvantaged for a really long time.
Yes.
So they may have missed out on opportunities for education, opportunities for business growth, and that sort of thing. And because they then were left behind, what happened is that, with the independence, when it came about, when the apartheid came to an end, then you found that the Africans came in to take out some of the rest of Africa. Some of, went into South Africa to take some of the jobs that are in that space. And of course, because some of them will feel disadvantaged, they may want to edge out those Africans who've come from elsewhere. But my take is that in this era of globalization, the movement of people from one nation to the next is inevitable.
Yes.
South Africans are moving from South Africa to the rest of Africa and to the rest of the world. The rest of the world is also moving into South Africa. So I think for me, I would say tolerance is key. Because we have to work together. If there's a Kenyan company going to invest in South Africa, it will go into South Africa. Now we have legal awards that are hosted in South Africa. We are going to bring business into South Africa. There's tourism, there's, that sort of thing. So I think tolerance is key if we are to embrace globalization.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Esther, what a powerful way to end business today. Tolerance. We are a global world. It sounds like repetition, but it is indeed. So let us stick together. Stop xenophobia. No xenophobia. That is our stand today, and that is business today. I'm Noki Kimboy. Till tomorrow, you have yourself a nice time. Up next, we're going to be having Bilia KTN. Stay tuned.